Good morning, third grade. Today we're going to be learning about fiction and nonfiction and the sequence of events of a story. So we're going to go down here to our class webpage, and there will be some tabs up at the top that say student resources. For one is the one you're going to go to, the very last one. So you're going to click on this link or this button down here that says SOE Visio. So that's going to start you off with a little video telling you about sequence of events. So you're going to watch it and answer these questions that are embedded within it. And then once you finish that, you're going to go back to the class website and watch this PowerPoint presentation. It's about fiction and nonfiction and sequence of events. So this is DESE Standard ELA third grade, so it's going to help you compose a well-developed writing skill for your audience and purpose. So it's going to help you establish and organize an event sequence to establish a beginning, a middle, and end. So by the end of this lesson, you will be able to determine fiction versus nonfiction in the sequence of events of a story. So what does it mean if something is fiction? Well, the definition of fiction is a literary work based on the imagination and not necessarily on fact. So an easy way to remember what fiction is that means fiction is fake. So an example of fiction is the book The Cat in the Hat. And if you haven't ever read it, it's about two siblings that are left at home on a rainy day. So they get bored and a talking cat shows up with his friends Thing 1 and Thing 2. But the way you can tell that this book is fiction is for a couple reasons. So one reason is that the cats cannot talk, so you know that that has to be made up. Another reason is that things 1 and 2 are made up by the author. So what does it mean if something is nonfiction? So if fiction means fake, then nonfiction would mean real. So the definition of nonfiction is prose writing that is not fictional. This is basically saying that if it's not fictional, then it has to be factual, and factual means real. So nonfiction is not fake. So an example of nonfiction would be the book Sharks, Nature's Perfect Hunter. Well, this is kind of set up like a comic book, so it tells you all about sharks. So how do we know this book is not fiction? So we know that because sharks exist in the ocean, so they're not made up from imagination. So what does it mean for the sequence of events? So the sequence of events in a story is what happens and when it happens in a story. So this means like the beginning, the middle, and the end that make up a story. So Sally woke up from a nap and decided she was hungry. Next, she went to the store and picked up some food. So then she went home and cooked the food. Finally, she ate the food and went back to sleep. So in the beginning of this story, Sally woke up and was hungry. In the middle of the story, Sally went to the store, picked up some food, and went home to cook it. In the ending of the story, Sally ate the food and went back to sleep. So this is an example of sequence of events. And this is where I got the definitions for fiction and nonfiction. So that's all we have for today. Be ready for class tomorrow because we're going to be learning more about it, and we're going to be reading a story that is fictional. So I hope everyone has a good afternoon and be ready for class tomorrow.